Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. Inara Sion is the cleansing blade. She remembers the Jade Abbey's heyday. She's the last survivor of the Jade Circle and a very powerful water caster. This is just an incredible model, one where if she had a separate release I'd gladly try out multiple paint schemes. The model itself is simplistic and that only enhances it to be a truly fantastic model. Now in this guide I will take you through the box art style colours with unique takes that other YouTubers aren't quite aware of. From unique colour schemes, methodology and a metallic Pyla Glacier coloured sword which is done in a way that cannot be guessed just by looking at it alone. And that's what this video is here for. She is a very fun model to paint and I hope you all enjoyed painting her as much as I did mine. With that said, grab your paints, grab your brushes, let's get hobbying. And we're beginning with our model Inara Sion. It's an absolutely awesome model and the bonus is it's going to be absolutely quick and easy to paint in a really beautiful style. So to begin with, things to note, the model is primed in White Scar. I've already textured the base to save a lot of time. I've done this for the whole range of Darkwater, and if you're copying along, that is Stirland Mud. Now to begin with, the big area we want to focus on first before we do anything else is her dress, and that includes the inside as well as the outside. The colour is nice and simple. It is Skeleton Horde, but on its own it's going to be too dark. We need to thin it down. We need control as well because there's large flat surface areas where we can easily have it pooling, losing control and just looking messy, which we don't want. She's an absolutely gorgeous model. It needs to be perfect. So we're taking a ratio, we're mixing 1 part Skeleton Horde to 1 part of Lahmium Medium. This is the thinness, this is the control, everything I've just said, and nice and simple. There is a build fold, so to speak. You can just roughly see where this line is, and we're going to start in this corner here by our hair, follow it down there, move from left to right all the way around, and you've got the inside, you've got this little section here, and then you've got the front up the arm, although always start at the top because gravity's going to pull down, so this way down, and then the other arm. Nice and simple. Now we're going to take advantage of the fact that the model is primed in White Scar. There are not many highlights that will really stand out at this stage, and I really want this neat look. You could absolutely dirty up the bottom of the dress, but I want it just to look really nice. So bright highlights, there's hardly anything, so the highlight is going to be White Scar, and we can take absolute advantage at this stage, obviously once it's dry, and just dry brush it. There are so many folds on the cloak that we can just hit with a small dry brush, and we can be messy in the sense that everything else is already still White Scar. If you hit it, if paint splatters, who cares? It is still White Scar. So take your time, get that done. We'll move on to the next step. Next up for Inara, we've got a whole host of details, but before we do that, we're going back to our Skeleton Horde mix, and we're going to apply it one more time in a select area, and that is under her dress. Essentially, light is not naturally hitting here. We want to create a subtle shadow effect without drastically altering the colour. So just a simple second coat is what we need. The only place I haven't done it is her actual leggings. So, once again, nice even there. And then we'll move on to these colours. Now her hair is dark, it is aging, and we'll do that when it comes to dry brushing, but we need to capture that rich black beauty that she has. Now to begin with, we're taking Black Legion. Nice and simple, base coat it on. Just beware when you're applying it into the recesses. When you do contrast paints on details like this, quite often it looks like you've got it into the recesses, but if you haven't actually got the brush bristles in there, you actually haven't got it in there, essentially. And you'll notice a couple of little white spots. It happens to me, in the sense I've now covered it, but just keep an eye, let it fully dry, and if you do see any, just take a small amount on the tip of your brush and just paint that in. Now, we do need to slightly darken it down further and protect it for when we come to dry brushing. And rather than the varnish, we're going with a shade paint. We're going to take Nuln Oil. It's going to enrich those recesses. It's not really going to do much to the actual hair overall, but shade paints do help seal things down. It's why people use Lahmium Medium to seal down transfers, to protect them from chipping off, vice versa. Same for the paint. It's not 100% guarantee when it comes to varnishing, but it does make a difference, especially when we're dry brushing. Contrast paints being so thin do tend to chip off, but this won't guarantee it 100%, but if you do it nice and gently, it will help. Moving on to a skin tone, we're going to create an underlayer. We want a slightly darker colour, and the colour I'm using here is what I do for my beastmen. In a sense, it's a kind of off-tone skin colour. So we're going to take 1 part of Darkoath Flesh and mix it with 1 part of Fyreslayer Flesh and just simply base coat it on. Nice and simple as that. Once it's dry, when I do the hair, I'll show you what shade paint we're going to be using just to tint it that little bit further. Next up for Inara, we're going to tint that skin tone that a little bit more to match the box art, and we're going to dry brush her hair. So starting with a skin tone, and we're going to apply this to the base as well, which is the Sterling Mud. It's just simply Agrax Earthshade at this stage. Nice and simple, we're not filling it down, just a nice even there across all of her flesh, and it just matches the box art beautifully. So let that dry, we'll move on to the hair now. Obviously only do this when it's fully dry, and we need to be as gentle as possible. We don't want any chipping here. The colour is Administratum Grey, and I really recommend just a small dry brush here. As I say, be gentle. You're going to have to go in at very different angles, so sort of going upwards to catch the hair here, sideways along here, diagonally along there. You just follow the curvature of the hair. It's as simple as that, but Administratum Grey works really nicely. It gives it that slightly more aged effect, which matches her lore. So, get that done. We'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to paint up this sort of off kind of blue, grey, back, straps, and this sort of little neck piece that's up here. It's really nice and simple. In a sense, we can do it in a way with contrast paints where we need 0 edge highlighting. So to begin with, the colour is Space Wolves Grey, and we're just going to stick with this for the time being. So to begin with, just treat it like a normal base coat, like you would apply with contrast paints all over those details, and just let it fully dry. Now once it's completely dry, we're going to take Space Wolves Grey again. Now for our neck piece up here, we're simply going to paint it all over, but apply more of the paint so it's heavier within the recesses there. So we've got this natural piece of shading with automatic light areas, which have had a second coat as well, but we've settled it into those recesses. Same for the belt, we're painting it this time into the middle section up to the edge, not including the edges, leaving an automatic highlight in place. Same for the little bag there. It just means those pieces of the model, along with the dress, along with the hair, it's just completely painted. Next up, we're going to add that water effect, and the colour here is Pylar Glacier. It's very thin, very translucent, keeps it nice and natural with that kind of white scar highlight almost in place. So, nice and simply, it's going over the water, but I'm also doing it over the entirety of the sword blade, and you'll understand more of that later on. Essentially, I'm going to apply metallics to it, but in a very subtle way. It will make sense, trust the process. So, paint that on, let it dry, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to work on all the base colours. So to begin with, we are starting with the skull. It's nice and obvious. It's going to be Skeleton Horde. This time though, we're not thinning it down. We're taking it in its purest form. For the bricks, I wanted something that's bright, something that really stands out nicely against this darkened mud base, that works really well with the colours that we've got going on here. So the colour I've opted for is Gryph-Charger Grey, and it does contrast and stand out really nicely. So just take your time, be careful with obviously avoiding all these leaves and branches. Talking of those in particular, for our branches we are base coating them in Cygor Brown. Not many to do, just a couple here, with the majority being here. And then for our leaves, as well as the grass, I wanted a nice bright green, and Orc Flesh works wonders here. So you've got the little leaves here, piece of grass there, piece of grass there, and there is just one tiny leaf just there. So let that dry, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to finish off our skin highlights, finishing off Inara's face as well as the base. We'll start with the base first because that's nice and simple, and that's going to be an all-over dry brush of Screaming Skull, obviously being careful to avoid her feet and again the dress. But we want to catch all of the mud, the skull, the rocks, little bits of the leaves and the branches, just very gently of course, because we don't want to scratch away the paint, and we don't want to overload it and make it too vivid. So just a nice gentle dry brush of Screaming Skull. Moving on from that, we're focusing on her face, and the highlights here are going to be a mixture of spot highlights and little tiny scratchy edge highlights. So things like the cheekbones, around the jawline, that kind of stuff for edge highlighting, and little spot highlights on the knuckles, the nose, that kind of stuff. The colour is Fyreslayer Flesh. It's very subtle and it just works perfectly with the skin tone that I've created here. We also need to do her eyes and her teeth, and that's going to be in White Scar. So just have the tiniest tip on the edge of your brush and just literally cross the teeth, leaving a little central line in the middle, and then you just need to dot the eyes. And then for those who are really brave, just that even smaller dot of Abaddon black just to dot the eyes, as you can see. All we've got left now to do is the sword and our metallic details. Next up, we're painting our metallic details. This is going to be the base coat, the shade, and the highlight all together. So for our gold details, we're going classic with Retributor armor. Mostly you've got the front emblem here, you've got the sword, and you've got this flask. So you've got a little bits in between at the bottom there, and then you've got the main sort of, funnel that goes up to the top. So base coat those. I recommend doing the gold first, just because there's some more intricate areas, where you've got the silver, which is more raised. So it just makes sense, neater terms, it's just easier to do. So let that dry. And our silver is base coated in lead belcher. And that is just the flask here. One point to note for the gold, you have got the headband as well on top of her forehead. For shading, our gold, once it's dry, is Lahmium Flesh shade. For our silver details, I've gone classic with Nuln Oil. Then obviously wait for that to dry, and then our edge highlights are nice and simple, classic colours, Liberator Gold, obviously for the gold, classic edge highlighting. And for our lead belcher details, we're going Stormhost Silver, and that's going to finish all of that off. Now we're going to move on to the sword and the water. So next up, we're just going to focus on the sword to begin with, and it is not yet complete, but it is now metallic, and I'm going to explain how we're going to do this. It's something that the heavy metal team do when they're relayering, when something's gone matte and it's meant to be metallic, and they just want the metallic flakes to really help it shine. So we had it in pure Pylar Glacier. We're going to take Iron Hand Steel, but what we're going to do is we're also going to take Lahmium Medium. Now, I've created roughly 1 part of Iron Hand Steel and 8 parts of Lahmium Medium. Now, Iron Hand Steel is our base coat. It is a very bright silver. Essentially, the Lahmium Medium is going to split the silver and the metallic flakes apart. So mix it well, and you just want the tiniest amount in your brush, and literally start at the top, so it's going to run down and just paint it on. It is going to have little bits of silver, but essentially what we're seeing here in the camera light is mostly metallic shine. So again, there will be silver. It's not just metallic shine, but as you can see, a lot of that blue, depending on which angle you're looking at, will show through. In a sense, that's where the light is refracting and hitting. So take your time, trust the process. I'm going to get that done. What I'm going to do is do White Scar as a dry brush, obviously very gently because we don't want any of this to snap. And essentially we can just gloss varnish over to give it that extra shine. Essentially what I want to do is to make the idea that this is glowing blue and the water is coming around it, just giving that natural kind of reflection. And it's time to finish Inara off, and it's really nice and simple here. First of all, we're going to do a dry brush, and it is White Scar. This is going to be for all the water that we see going around, and it's also going to be for the edges of the sword. It's going to be very subtle, and it just makes it really finish and stand out. Now, there are a couple of tips I want to give here. Obviously, be very gentle. We don't want this to snap. And while I have dry brushed it gently, it did feel safe, but it is thin plastic. We don't want to accidentally snap it. It'd be horrible to ruin it at this stage. Now, my other tip is we need to angle the model properly when we do the dry brushing. And that's not because of snapping. That's because we don't want to spoil the details we've done. We don't want any accidental flicks of White Scar because it's a thick paint. We don't want it just having dots randomly. So essentially, when I'm doing it, I've got it at an angle like this. Imagine a dry brush in my hand like here, and when I'm doing these edges, I'm going this direction, so any splatters are coming away from the model. It's just a good tip, but it's just important to remind you at this stage, these kind of things need to be considered. After all, the model's done, we don't want to spoil her, she looks fabulous. So with that done, we've got one final thing to do, and it is personal choice whether you want to or not. Water, obviously, when light hits it, it's shiny, the sword is shiny, and I want that real vivid shine. So for the blade and the water, I've added Darkoath, which is a gloss varnish. Any gloss varnish will do, and it just makes light naturally hit it more and give it a real wet shine, which is absolutely perfect. It's what I want for the model. With that done, Inara is finished. All I'm going to do now is add some flowers, which I think she's absolutely deserving of. We've got this nice big space down here, and then we'll show her off. And there we have it. Inara Sion is complete, and she is an absolute beauty of a model. Games Workshop, it is a fantastic sculpt. I have adored painting this one. It's what I voted for to try and see straight away. Obviously, we didn't get that one straight away, but I wasn't disappointed when it was revealed. There's so much potential in the sense it's got Bretonian vibes. I could potentially do it in different colour schemes, from jade coloured robes to even bright pink coloured robes. There's just so much you could absolutely do with this incredible sculpt, and it's just so simply wonderful. Now, if this video has inspired you, which I hope it does, then please do give it a like, but also share the video. Share it with your friends, share it in community groups, because it's not about the fame, it's about supporting the Warhammer community. There are people out there who are loving this set as much as I am, but they might be stuck on particular colours, they might need guidance, and I do things in very particular ways that no one else does. And it does help people a lot, especially when they find this channel. So any support helps, including subscribing. If you haven't done so, I would really appreciate it, because every bit of support helps do something wonderful. It means I get to continue supporting you, the awesome Warhammer community. So until the next video, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.